This is game number 17 between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky of the World Championship held in Reykjavik, Iceland. Spassky's ELO rating is 2600, whereas Fischer's ELO rating is 2785. This is pre-opening. After that it is changed to Austin attack. Spassky playing e4, d6. This is called pre-opening. d4, g6, knight c3, defending this pawn, knight f6, knight f6, f4. Now it is changed to Austin attack, bishop g7. Knight f3. White is occupying the center, controlling the center with the pawns. Black is controlling it with the pieces. c5, d into c5, queen a5. Why queen a5? Pawn into pawn. If pawn into pawn, queen into queen, black has to cut it with the king into queen, thereby losing the chance of castling. Bishop d3, queen into c5. Queen into c5 can be played. Queen e2. Black castles on the king side. Bishop e3, driving away the queen. Queen a5 goes back to the original position, pinning the knight. White gets rid of the pin by castling. Bishop g4. Bishop g4, pinning the knight. Rook a d1. Rook a d1 is a very good move. This pawn is already protected by the knight. Knight c6. Knight c6 is an excellent move. Bishop c4. Bishop c4, there is no point because this pawn is already protected by the rook and king. Knight h5. Knight h5 is a good move. Bishop b3. Bishop b3 is good because bishop comes to the safest place. Bishop into c3. Bishop into c3 gives black an extra pawn. b into c3, queen into c3. Black gets a extra pawn. f5, trying to spoil black's pawns protecting king. Knight f6 prevents further move of these pawns. h3. Now black is forced to cut the knight. If he goes back, will lose a piece. So bishop into f3, queen into f3, knight a5, rook d3, driving away the queen. Queen c7. Queen c7 is a Good move. Ideal place for the queen. Bishop h6, attacking the rook. Knight into b3. Knight into b3 is a very good move. Removes the bishop, which is always looking at the pawn, and the rook has to be there to prevent that check. C into b3. Queen c5, check. King h1, queen e5. Bishop into f8. Bishop into f8 is a good move, because rook is more powerful than the bishop. Rook into bishop. Rook e3. Rook c8, occupying the open file. F into g6. H into g6. H into g6, the idea is moving the rook afterwards and attacking the king. Queen f4. Queen into f4. Rook into f4. Knight d7. Rook f2. Knight e5. Knight e5. King h2. Rook c1. Rook c1 is a good move, getting the bottom of the white's position. Rook e2. Knight c6. Rook c2. Trying to exchange the most powerful of black. Rook e1. Fischer doesn't like to exchange his rook at this juncture. Rook f e2. Rook a1. King g3. King g7. Rook c d2. Rook f1. Rook f2. Rook e1. Rook f e2. Rook f1. Rook e3. a6. Rook c3. Rook e1. Rook c4. Rook f1. Rook d c2. Rook a1. Rook f2. Rook e1. Rook f c2. g5, rook c1, rook e2, rook 1 c2, rook e1, rook c1, rook e2, rook 1 c2, draw agreed.